What's shaking AC?
Well, to be honest with you, I thought the floor was shaking today. I thought we had an earthquake in Victoria.
Really? Is that common there?
Yeah.
The only time the floor shakes here in Ontario is when I walk down the hall after visiting a Chinese food buffet.
Yeah. You eat a little too much and then boom, boom, boom down the
Yep,
down the hallway. Okay, got
exactly.
it.
Like a gorilla, King Kong.
Yeah. Like, is that before or after you won the world's poutine eating challenge?
I
The
don't know. That
smoked poutineery.
that was an accident. I didn't. I wasn't planning to win that. I just sort
Yeah.
of.
Were you like, did you get the poutine sweats after that?
Yeah, the meat and cheese curds and gravy.
Yeah.
Actually,
Okay.
no. I'm still kind of hungry. I'm like, I need to go have lunch.
An
Luckily, they were
actual
having
lunch.
great poutine.
There you go. All right. Well, I'm sure that everybody that's watching right now is really like excited about this great content we're putting out here.
Yeah, they are. Okay, so listen. Part-time franchisees bring part-time results.
Yeah.
Okay, fact or fiction? Is that true? Because
Oh, I see. Okay.
that's what
True or
people
false?
talk. I hear about that a lot. I've seen it before.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards the fact that it is true.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I get asked this question all the time, right? Especially like, well, newer franchisors. And it's especially common in, especially like mom run businesses. Like, a mom started a boot camp or a stroller running business or dance for little like for the kids or something, and then they're like, well, I was a mom. Or even our friend Ruth from Code Wiz, like she was, as a mom, she wanted to start a business that she could be a business owner and kind of run from home. And so it happens a lot. And the problem is typically the people that you attract as franchisees are different than the person that's the founder of the business. And so they come in as franchisees thinking, well, I'll just do this part-time. And yeah, part-time effort typically equals part-time results. And if the reason they're doing it part-time, so that's part of this, is that they've got other priorities like another job or kids to take care of or some other reason, then yeah, there's a really good chance that that's going to end up coming first. And now you've locked up a territory that you could have sold. So like, it's especially risky if you're giving up a good territory to somebody who is going to do this as a part-time initiative.
So is that irrelevant as to what they're doing in their off time? Like whether they're somebody trying to raise a family or they just want to be a part-time business owner or absentee owner or whatever because they want to sit on the beach or play golf or whatever. It's irrelevant
Yeah.
what they're doing with their spare time.
I mean, it's just, to me, it's just a red flag. It goes against one of the pieces of DNA, grit, being hardworking. So if somebody has a full-time job and wants to do this on the side, if they can prove to you through their experience and their history and their resume that they are an action-oriented person, and then they've got the right, traits to do this as well, that might be different. But if the person is, doesn't have the traits and the history of being able to do this successfully, it would be a big red flag to me that they're not ready to put in the work. They're not bought in enough. They're not passionate about it enough, or not excited about it enough, or they just don't have, when I say traits, I also mean like sort of the skills, required, like the ability to like motivate people when you're not there, for example.
Right. So it sounds to
Yeah.
me like you're saying there's different levels of entrepreneurship, right? There's somebody who wants to work for themselves and just do the regular daily operations. There's somebody that wants to work for themselves and grow stuff. There's somebody that wants to work for themselves and create stuff, which is typically ends up being the founder, right? They're going to put more into it. So there's a spectrum of entrepreneurship, and oftentimes franchisees and founders aren't on the same level. So a founder might say, I built a business and now I can set it aside and it will operate and I will grow. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the franchisee can do that, right?
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like if they're saying they can do it, what's the proof? How do we know that the franchisee can do that? You could do it because you did it, right? Like what, like as a
Yeah.
founder, you're like, you had this this drive because it was your passion project to create this business. So you had the drive to get it to a point where you could step away and build and grow more, right? So yeah, I mean, I guess kind of what we're getting at a little bit here is the difference between even like a single unit operator and a multi-unit operator, which I think is something we might want to talk about specifically on its own at some point, or maybe we'll just talk about it right now. I don't know what's going to happen here, but
that's an important question, because I feel like every franchisee signs up with a system with the aspiration of opening up a second one and a third one and a fourth one, and they have to become part-time or even absentee at their original ones. So that sort of almost makes my initial comment a fallacy, but I see the opposite.
It's harder than people think, and I went through it. We had the rights to Vancouver Island, and we opened our 3 stores, and we were like, it was really busy, and we decided it was time to start a family. So, it was like, well, we could build out a team, but it's only like now we're getting into the business of managing people as opposed to the business of like managing the operations of the store, which includes the people. But you're bringing yourself to a different level, and that requires a whole different skill set. Not to say that not that we didn't have the skill set, but we had a different desire at the time, and that's where I think people think, oh yeah, I want to open three stores or 3 territories or whatever, but you always want to get proof of performance before you go there. So it kind of goes back to the part-time question, where it's like, I want, this is not our model. I want proof of performance. Well, how can you get that? Is there a way to get that with the person if they've been a franchisee before and they did a really good job of maybe running their business by setting up a leadership team on site or whatever that is, and they've got some, proof on that, then I might be a little more comfortable with it. But not only is part-time work equal part-time results, or whatever the line was that you said, it's also like they're only part-time invested.
Yeah.
So if you're strictly just wanting to be part-time and have another corporate job, or have time with the family, or go sit on the beach, like you said, that one to me is a big red flag.
So what you're saying is
somebody who's talking about building more units, that's totally different.
Yeah. Okay. So what I'm hearing is that a franchisee isn't the same thing as a multi-unit franchisee.
Well, a single unit isn't the same as a multi-unit franchisee DNA.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. And just to clarify, like with that initial, even if it is a franchisee that's going to go in part-time, and they've got some, kind of rock star credentials in small business. That's another thing I think we've talked about once a little bit, that just because somebody has really good corporate business side, that doesn't necessarily translate. So you got to be careful on that. But if they've got the right, DNA to run a small business and be a franchisee and all that, and you're going to do it, they're probably still going to have to put in the first, say, like 6 months hands-on to set the culture and set the standards and be the face of, the franchisee face of that brand in that market. Like, I think it's pretty unique to be able to go in and really just start out part-time and build a team right from the beginning without having to be there.
So if a franchisee comes to you and they want to be a multi-unit franchisee, which seems to be everyone's aspirations, you always vet them on the ability to run one at a satisfactory or above satisfactory performance level. And then potentially in the future, you can sell them more locations. But if somebody comes to you and says, I want to buy 5 right away, which I know some of your clients have had that, there's a whole other vetting process on whether they can handle that, because they're essentially part-time or absentee right away.
Yeah. It's like you're going to super vet them, which I think you should anyway, always, but you're going to be super vetting them, and you're going to vet them for different skills. Their leadership skills need to be at a whole other level. Their ability to, their productivity, their ability to focus, to understand their numbers, that all needs to be at a whole different level. So I'm looking then for like ideally experience doing that if they're coming in, as that multi-unit.
Cool.
Operator. I guess
you've answered my question.
Yeah, we went from part-time to multi-unit we went all over, and we talked about poutine.
Okay.
Ready for
Let's wrap it up.
We're done. 3, 2, 1. Go be
awesome.